taking a broader view, what's China's overall goal at the moment for the nation? What do they want?
Well, I'll just put it in their terms. I mean, what the Chinese strategic documents have said is they're looking to have global leadership by the year 2049, which is the 100th anniversary of the Chinese state, the Chinese revolution.
What's global leadership, and where did they say this?
So right now, historically, China has seen itself as the Middle Kingdom. It's certainly or one maybe the great civilization of its region, and they had a relationship with the countries around it that was based on that understanding, which is very, very different from the principles of the post-war international order that were established by the United States and the UK and our allies in the aftermath of the Second World War. And so China would like to have that freedom of maneuver. China sees the United States, I think, as a country that's trying to keep China down, and sees that post-war liberal international order as something that is just a veiled threat. It's not something designed for the common good, but something designed to keep others down, and as they see it, keep the United States in a role of primacy. And they want to get out of that. And part of getting out of that, at least in my view, is deeply undermining this system, the alliance system that emboldens countries like Japan and Korea and Australia to stand up to China. That doesn't necessarily mean that China wants to militarily take over the world. China says they never take over other entities, but that's just a bald-faced lie, because you just have to have just a different view of, like, if I were to say America is the whole world, then America would never invade any other country because I had just declared that all other countries are America. If China just says the entire South China Sea is China, then seizing territory in the South China Sea isn't aggression. It's just this is ours. So they use
it's the big brother, little brother, stop hitting yourself thing all over again, isn't it? Stop hitting yourself.
Something like that. But the thing is, for them, for them, they're just making declarations. I mean, that's why for China, managing the information space is so important, because the idea is, well, just declare some big crazy thing and then start defending that crazy thing, and then you act according to that principle. And then people will say, hey, you're wrong. And you say, oh, no. We have a claim to the entire South China Sea, so this is just a dispute. This isn't aggression. We're not seizing territory. We're not attacking India. We're just part of this dispute where we haven't in Xinjiang and Tibet, Taiwan. China has the government on mainland China has only controlled Taiwan for 4 years since 1895. And yet that claim, there are lots of other countries that have a much stronger claim to other places that have let bygones be bygones. But again, China it asserts its reality and then tries to defend the reality that it's created.
Can you explain what China's doing in the South China Sea with its little islandettes and how it's expanding territory?
Yes. So a big vulnerability that China has is that the United States Navy is still more advanced and stronger. And the South China Sea is one of the main thoroughfares for trade. It's natural resource rich, not just fishing, but oil, and it's critically important. China has made this just absurd, outlandish, and according to international law, illegal claim called the Nine-Dash Line to essentially the entire South China Sea. And then what they did is they claimed the essentially reefs in the middle of the South China Sea, seized them, and have built massive military installations on those islands. And what they're doing, so the United States has aircraft carrier battle groups. And if you've ever seen them, they're just unbelievably awesome displays of power. But if you have military installations right in the middle of the South China Sea, that's like a huge aircraft carrier in one of the most important places where you would have an aircraft carrier. And if you have a land base, you can really do a lot. And the United States could neutralize those bases in a war scenario. I mean, they're just sitting there, so you could, attack them in a war. But most of life, and hopefully all of life, happens outside of a war scenario. So it's the same thing. China declares an imaginary reality and then starts acting as if the imaginary reality is real. And then when people raise questions about it, attacks those people or those countries.
Isn't there a rule to do with a particular radius around the island? It's a 90-mile radius or something. So by China picking up these little reefs, they're slowly expanding that territory because they all intersect. It's
the Convention of the Law of the Sea. And these little reefs, these little sunken natural structures don't have, one, the claims are totally illegal. Two, even if they were legal, these reefs don't afford that kind of protection. But they take these reefs and then they're pouring cement and they're building structures on top of them, and in order to make these claims. And what they're trying to do is just create realities on the ground that will transform the conversation, because now they have these military installations and they're telling every other country, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to force us to leave? And China has built up its massive military. They're now investing hugely in hypersonic weapons, in nuclear weapons, in attack submarines. And so it's not even clear that if the United States were to challenge those islands, at least at this stage, and there were some kind of military confrontation, it's not even clear who would win. So what China's trying to do is just change the realities on the ground, regardless of the legalities, regardless of what it does to any concept of a rules-based international order, and then just say, well, that's the reality. Get used to it.
They're fucking about with anchoring bias and status quo bias and first mover advantage better than anyone that I've ever seen. As you say, by proclaiming a particular situation and then matching reality to that situation and then saying, what do you mean? This huge concrete building has always been here on this island. It's always been our territory. It's not the most subtle of strategies, but it definitely seems like it's being effective and it's being rolled out. What's happening, people? If you enjoyed that, then press here for the full unedited episode. And don't forget to subscribe. Peace.